Welcome into the Seventh Man Show, guys. We've got another pleasant guest, and it's his name is Nick.
Right now, if you click the link in the description of the episode, it brings you to a lovely page where you can purchase yourself some Upper Deck hockey cards. If you don't know what Upper Deck hockey cards are, it's basically the world leader in collectible hockey cards. I know I've said hockey cards five or six times already in a sentence, but that just means it's worth getting. So
hockey cards.
Yeah, hockey cards. The more I say it, the more you're going to get it. So go into the description, click that link. Any purchase that you make of those hockey cards, I said it again, and I'm going to keep saying it, does help this podcast. I've known this guy since way back in high school now, so he's probably the best hockey player that I know. Nick, do you want to just go about kind of like your day-to-day? What are you doing right now? What are you up to?
I'm currently playing at Elmira College in New York, liberal arts school, just about like 4 hours from Ottawa. I decided to come here after playing 4 years of junior A hockey in Kempville for the 73s there, and I also played a year of junior B in Ottawa West. I just wanted to keep playing hockey in a school, like kind of get the best of both worlds where I can play college hockey while getting an education. And honestly, I'm like ecstatic that I did decide to keep playing hockey and keep going to school, because it's hockey's been my whole life, and I'm not ready to give it up like at all.
Yeah, not many people get to keep going after junior, so you're pretty lucky there. Obviously skilled, but that's a nice accomplishment to have. One thing, who would you say your favorite hockey player was growing up, and why?
Growing up, I kind of grew up in that Crosby era, but I'd have to say I loved Pavel Datsyuk growing up. Like, I just love the way he played. I love how silky he was, how skilled he was. Like, I played nothing like Pavel Datsyuk at all. That's not
shame in that.
Not the type of hockey I play, but he as a kid I just loved watching him. Like, I loved watching his plays, his highlights, stuff like that. Obviously Crosby was fun to watch, but I just had, as a kid, I just loved Datsyuk. I loved the way he played.
Does that make you a Red Wings fan then, or what?
No. I'm a diehard Sens fan. Like,
there we go.
Diehard
That's
Sens
the question
fan.
You had to answer coming onto the show.
The banter we had in 2017 and back in that run was daily.
Yeah. No, I love the Sens. Like, even this year, like, no expectations, but I love watching them play. Like, I just think they're gonna be so good in a couple of years, but I just love the Sens.
Oh yeah, the no expectation things is definitely there, but they're definitely raising some eyebrows right now.
Yeah, they're fun to watch. They've had some good games.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
All right, Nick, then I want to kind of talk about like what first you got into the sport. How did you first get started? Did you ever switch between positions, or were you set for fun playing forward?
I actually, growing up, I wanted to play goalie so bad. I thought it was so cool.
I feel like that's a trend. I don't know why.
Like, I had an older brother and an older sister, and like, they both played hockey, and I guess I was kind of always the all right, just go stand in the net and just get hit by pucks. And I think I just had fun playing goalie.
I had that too, yeah.
I don't know, like, I just had fun playing goalie, and my dad was my coach in like novice, and like I was a forward at the time, and our goalie didn't play, and I was like, yo, can I play? Like, he did not want me to play goalie, but he was like, sure, like, you can go. And I got a shutout, my first and only game playing goalie, and I was convinced I was going to be an NHL goalie. I was like, Dad.
How many shots did you have? Like 2?
It's novice. Like, kids can't even shoot the puck. Yeah. But I was fired up. Like, and then like after that, kind of, I learned to like love like playing forward. I played a year of D Pee Wee or something. Like, my coach tried me out there, and like I think I did a fine job, but he's like, yeah, you're a forward. And like, now it's like I can't really like flip flop. I'm too kind of far in my career, and honestly, being a forward trying to play D is a lot harder than a D trying to play forward. Playing D is like, my backward skating is not good enough to play D, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. And I had to strap up pads for like practice once, and I swear to God, after warm up, I couldn't stand up again. I had to pay my respect to goalies. It's tough.
With how hard guys shoot now, I don't think I'd want to just stand there, get hit in the head. Like, just, it does not seem fun.
With the toe curves, the pucks are going right up.
Yeah.
Now that you're a college student, what would you say your day-to-day is like being an athlete and balancing school?
They do a really good job at my school of kind of helping us out and stuff, but a day to day. So right now we're in season, so we have to work out like 3 times a week. So we try to get in Monday whenever we can in the day, just whenever in between our class schedules. But then Tuesdays like is more of our like typical day. So Tuesdays we work out at like 6:30 in the morning, get a good lift in, then usually go get breakfast, head to my first class of the day. In between classes, I usually try to get some schoolwork done, but I can, as much as I can say that, it doesn't always pan out. Then get a good lunch, maybe like an afternoon class. Then we're at the rink, usually from 4 to 6, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Tuesday, Thursdays. We're there 6 to 8 because we flip flop ice slots with the girls team. And then when I'm done practice, get back and cram my homework. Usually cram projects, and then always look forward to Friday because that's usually the first game of the weekend.
Hey, that's college life for you, cramming homework in the last second.
Yeah.
So do you live in a dorm with your teammates, or are you like, what's that like?
So I'm a freshman this year, and our school's rule is we have to be in dorms, but all the hockey freshmen are 21 years old, 22 years old. So we're living in dorms with like actual freshmen. Like I have like my hockey buddies, like my roommate, and then we have hockey guys across the street or across like the hall. But I'm living with like 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, like, and it's weird for sure. It is definitely weird to be in a dorm, but it's just our school rule. And honestly, like I played junior hockey, so I never got a real like college or like university experience with my friends. So like it's like kind of nice that I'm getting it now, but it's like I'm kind of like over that phase of like being 18.
Yeah, the energy there must be unreal.
Yeah, it's the hockey guys have a good time here. We get
you got the cafeteria food or what?
Yeah, hit or miss. You gotta find something you like and you have to stick to it. Like mornings have to be the omelet bar. There's like I'll give them credit though. They can bang out some good meals sometimes, but it's the consistency. It's the consistency that's not always kind of there.
Nick, with COVID-19 and all of that, how did you guys kind of like prepare to get into the season? Was there a lot of protocols that you have to go, or like testing that you have to do pre-games?
So I'll take you back all the way to kind of August. So when we first got to campus, like it was still up in the air, obviously, with everything, but our start date was January 1st, and we were kind of like getting ready for that. We got back to campus. We thought things would kind of go well, but being in the state of New York, in the time of like August, September was like cases were crazy high. Our zones were really bad. Like our area got hit really hard at one point. So plans kind of fell apart for like our season starting January 1st, but we were still practicing, but we weren't getting tested yet because there was no play ready. So we just practiced the end of first term, and kind of we realized that we weren't going to have that January 1 start date, which was obviously disappointing because like we had missed hockey for so long that we were like so itching to get back. Then so we went home for Christmas break, and it was still kind of iffy whether the state of New York, everybody was going to kind of let our league play. But then we got a call from our coaches probably a week after January 1st saying, yeah, we're getting ready to go. Then when we got back on campus, that's when we started getting tested often. So now we're getting tested 3 times a week, and like you have a positive test, obviously you're done. Like you and whoever you were surrounded by often done. We're practicing masks on in the room. In games too, it's our league's rule. We have to have masks on during the play, but CCM did a great job. They made like those masks like 4 actual helmets, so those have been huge for us. But you kind of have to take your balances. We had games last week get canceled because the school had COVID, but we found out of conference games, and it's going to be a lot of adjustments. But I feel like everyone's trying their best. It's just kind of gotta live with the times. But we're getting tested 3 times a week, and getting a swab up your nose isn't the best feeling in the world. But I guess I'm kind of used to it now, sadly.
I've got one test once so far during this COVID, and I don't want to have it ever again. That was horrible.
It's not great. It's not great at all.
Like, what are your goals this year, whether it's academic or as a team?
So like as a freshman, honestly, I'm just coming in and trying to get as many like games as I can, as many opportunities I can to play. Like we're a young team, so there's a lot of kind of opportunity to play. So obviously, I want to do as like well as I can, like personally, as a freshman, just trying to get in the lineup and stuff like that. But as a team, I think our team's like really good, even though we're young. I think we have a strong team that like works really hard, skates fast, like play good hockey. And I honestly like think that we can be successful. But like I said, we haven't even had a real in conference matchup yet. So it's gonna be tough, but like to judge, because I've never played a game at this level against like our actual conference except for the games last weekend. But honestly, I think our team's gonna be good, and like we're gonna turn some heads just with how young we are and how well we're gonna compete. Academically, last semester I was on Dean's List. It was a little easier not having road trips and games and stuff, but that's my goal every much. Like I'm here to play hockey, but I'm also here to be a student as well. And honestly, like I want my diploma to be kind of with honors and be on Dean's List, make President's List, 4.0 list. So studying, like my school is like a huge part of being here. Obviously, like I'm not just coming here and like just going to hockey. Like I do want to be a good student here, because like it matters just as much as my hockey, honestly.
Just out of curiosity, Nick, what are you studying?
I'm a business major.
Yes.
Stereotypical kind of hockey. If you look down the line, I'm guessing we probably have like 25 business guys, maybe like 1 or 2 education guys, and then I think we have somebody in nursing, somebody in biochem, and I think other than that is just like straight down the line business. I don't think they stray too far away from the kind of norms here.
Well, everyone knows that you can kind of bullshit your way through a business exam, so that's kind of good.
Yeah, sometimes if you kind of know the ins and outs, but stats and math have been kind of
don't get me started on that.
Yeah,
that's not a fun one, that's for sure. But with like business, it's a tough program, but there's a lot of options with it for sure, and it's a good diploma or degree to have.
All right, so Nick, is it fair to say that you've pretty much seen your way through a bunch of different levels for hockey, from all the way back to AAA midget to your time with the Kempville 70? How would you judge the competitive game, the U.S. college level to maybe those high school leagues?
Definitely a lot faster, and like going through junior, like playing against, when I was 16, 17, like I was playing against guys that were 20, 21, and I was like, wow, like those guys are like insanely like strong and big. And then now I'm here and I'm kind of back as that freshman, that first year guy, and I'm like, wow, these like older guys, like these 24, 25-year-old, wow, these guys are big, these guys are strong and fast. And from junior to college, like the speed's about very similar, but it's just you play with guys that are like they're men playing against real like men now, and guys that are going to play pro hockey when they graduate and stuff like that. And it's different. Like when I was a kid playing minor midget, everyone's the same age. Obviously you have your top guys that are going to be those high round OHL guys who like now like are like signing AHL contracts, NHL. And honestly, like those guys were amazing. It's just now you're playing against guys that are different ages, like different sizes and stuff. Like, and it's just it's different for sure. Like my last year in junior, I was the oldest guy. So like you're like usually you're the strongest guys, like you have the most confidence, whatever. And then now you're going back and you're trying to bring that same level of confidence and skill and ability. But it's tougher like when you take that step above. But it's nice, honestly, that there's still progression, because like I still want to be a better hockey player, and having guys that keep like pushing you and stuff and give you a reason to be better is like kind of like it's nice. That's why I play hockey to become like a better hockey player too. So yeah.
Yeah, and I guess we haven't really asked this yet, but how would you describe yourself as a player? Like, what kind of player are you, and like, what do you want to work on your game most?
As a player, like someone that I get described as a lot is Brad Marchand, because like I just I'm a short guy, like I'm like small, like what I just absolutely get into everything. Like I just stir it up, like I just kind of whatever. But I can also play, like, I'm also offensively talented in my opinion. I can make plays, stuff like that. But I am definitely, like, in my opinion, I'm a really good 200-foot player. I can kill penalties. Also like play on the power play, but it's just I've always been like a defensive first guy. Like, so that's kind of what
coaches love it. Coaches
yeah, and
love
it got me the most ice time was just by playing defense first and caring about that. But then like I am like a gritty guy that likes to like get involved and like produce too. So kind of mix like that. Biggest part of my game improve on is definitely skating. I got hurt last year, like really badly. Like I lost like feeling in my left foot, like completely like messed up my back, herniated a disc that like damaged one of my, it's my sciatic nerve. It's the nerve that runs from your hip, like your hip and back all the way down your foot. Like most excruciating pain I've ever been in every day. Couldn't walk some days. Had missed like 40 games last season and then came back and just my stride was nothing like it used to be. Like skating was like nothing.
Chopping around the ice, eh?
Yeah, like so I kind of want to get, and like over the summer, it's not like I didn't have that much chance to skate this year because like lockdown, that was kind of tough. So like it was kind of awkward for me, but I definitely feel my feet are starting to get better again now that we've been skating so much here. So I'm starting to find a little confidence more in my skating and stuff. But honestly, if there's one thing I could tell my younger self is just skating is the biggest part of hockey right now. Like 100%. Like you're not getting anywhere if you can't be a top skater.
It'll keep being that way too. It's definitely going to just be speed. And if you don't have it, you can't keep up.
Once you're going to be done the college level, Nick, what's kind of like after that? Do you see yourself going overseas professionally? Maybe the NHL could be in the realm of possibilities. Do you think that's something you're looking at right now?
Probably not the NHL. I've kind of set the sail on that one. That one's gone. But definitely like as a 21 or 22-year-old now, I want to play pro hockey when I graduate. I want to keep playing hockey. Like hockey's literally all I know. If you look back at me, I've always been a hockey player. So right now I can't think of a life without hockey, but I'm sure like everyone who comes in as a freshman is thinking, hey, like I want to be pro hockey guy. But then like you talk to seniors and some of them are like, yeah, like my body can't handle this anymore. Like I'm mentally like drained from it. But honestly, for me, hockey's still my entire life, and I don't see myself not wanting to play. Like last year from my school, we had a couple guys go to the East Coast League and a couple guys go overseas to play pro. And I want to live in Europe and play pro. That is kind
That'd be pretty cool. It's a dream.
That'd be my main thing. Get a couple of years in and then have a diploma to come back to and kind of find work. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I know trying to make professional hockey is going to be tough. And who would you say, like coaching wise or player wise, has helped you the most with like developing your skills and whatnot?
I'd probably say I've been like blessed to have some really good coaches. Like I could go down the list, honestly. Like it'd be like hard to name one coach that has helped me the most over other coaches. Like there's been so many influential like people in my life of hockey when it comes to coaching, like whether it's like my actual like coach or like skills coach, like skating gut person. So if I had to pick one name, I'd have to say probably my U18 coach in Nepean, Jeff Jordan. He was also my coach in Kemple for a bit. He taught me to not like, he helped me. Like I used to have like a really short temper when I was younger, like playing hockey. He kind of got me to calm down, focus more on developing as like an offensive hockey player, like not kind of running around like a loose cannon all the time. And like he helped me develop just kind of like confidence and stuff like that. And he like without him, like he gave me a chance in Kempville too. Like I played the start of my first junior year in Nepean and I wasn't playing at all. And he called me up like one day and I got traded there and he's like, hey, you're gonna get a chance here. And I didn't have a great first year junior, but honestly, he like helped build my confidence and stuff like that. And like he's probably instrumental in where I am today. Like just because like he had such a big impact on me. But like that's not to take anything away from other coaches that I've had like in minor hockey and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a tough question.
Just one name.
And I'm looking through your elite prospect page, and I've noticed that you said you played for Ottawa West in 2016, 2017. So that would have been when you were 16 years old, and I played for Perth that year, and you guys were like a really good team. I remember you guys had some really good players, and I'm sure, and like you ended up putting up a lot of points on that team. Like for a so-called defensive guy, you did a number on that league. Like, do you have anything like you had to say about the players that you played with that year? Because I remember you guys like went pretty far in playoffs that year, didn't you? You lost to
we actually had a disappointing playoff run. Like,
was it your?
No, we were not we ran away with like the actual like league title.
Didn't you? Yeah, because I think we got second that year or something.
But and playoffs, man. I that year for me was probably my best year of hockey. Like I won Rookie of the Year that year.
You did, eh?
CC2, yeah. That was the year that was like Henniger's last year. Connolly.
He could shoot, man.
Yeah. Jack Kilray was on that team. Ryan DeMille would have been a 96. Brandon Devey would have been a 96. And then like Henniger and Connolly were 95s, obviously. And those guys learned a lot from those guys.
Especially so young too, because that's your 16-year-old year. You learn.
Those guys taught me a lot about like kind of picking like a hockey path. Like the reason I kind of stuck it out in juniors and stuff like that was I wanted to play college after talking to them and just talking to them about school and like decisions they could have made when they were younger. And like they helped me a lot of that and kind of like set my footing as a junior hockey player. And like they were great hockey players, honestly. Like I know like some people say it's like junior B, whatever, but there are like a lot of good players that just hockey is like not their like number one like passion of them. Like
exactly.
They junior B to still play hockey, and like they were great players, and that helped me a lot. But that year we got swept by Castleman in the second round after we won our season series against Castleman like 3-1 or something. And like
when you talk about a team like Castleman, I never expect them to be as good as they are.
Oh, they're like they do a great job out there just getting guys and stuff like that. And you know, they won that year.
They won like a stupid amount after that too.
Yeah, they were
or something like that.
They're a really good team.
All right, Nick, you mentioned Rookie of the Year for that year. Would you say that's one of your kind of like biggest accomplishment thus far for like your professional career in hockey, or is there more to come, or something else that surpasses that?
Like it was like the only league award that I've gotten, and like that meant like a lot to me to be recognized by the league and stuff like that. Like obviously that's a huge honor, like to be kind of like the Rookie of the Year or whatever. Like I said, I wasn't thrilled with my first year junior, and then my second year I thought I had a really good bounce back in like my first year junior A, and then my second year in Kempville I think I did like really well, and then my third year when I got hurt there, that year I'm not disappointed, or I'm very disappointed about that I got hurt, but like I came back, which is fine. League wise, I kind of wanted to produce a little more, obviously, and maybe get back to that renowned type thing. But I was kind of happy my last 2 years in Kempville. Like I got like hardest worker or something like that, and that's something that like I've always prided myself on is like kind of like working hard and kind of being a leader, like just in my work ethic and stuff like that. Because like as like a short guy, whatever, I'm not the most skilled player either. Like I never like got like those hockey god gifts that some players get. I just had to kind of work like as hard as I could every day. And the awards I got kind of like behind the scenes as team awards kind of hold closer to me because that's like voted by like other players and coaching staffs and stuff like that. And those ones kind of like mean the most when it comes down to it, because those are the guys you're seeing every single day. Like those are the guys you have bus trips with. You're taking big losses with. You gotta live with those guys, like stuff like that. And to get represented by those guys and get awards like that was kind of always meant a lot to me at the end of the year to get stuff like that. So yeah, but definitely like if I can win something in 4 years here, I'd definitely want to win a national championship over like a personal award.
Yeah.
I'd do anything to get a national championship.
That's great. When you're done playing, because you said you wanted to go overseas, and a lot of people get asked this, but like what do you plan on, because you said you have a diploma, but do you still want to stick with hockey? Like, do you want to get into coaching or like the front office or like broadcasting, stuff like that? Or you gonna just walk away from hockey when you're done?
You brought up broadcast, and so when I got hurt last year, like I said, I missed like 40 games, and we had a play-by-play guy. Like he missed a game, and one day they were like, "Hey, like, do you want to do it?" And I was like,
Shut up.
I was like,
That's
"Yeah,"
awesome.
like I'm like you can tell, like I'm kind of loud, like I'm like confident, like and stuff like that, and like I did play-by-play for like 15 games, I think, probably by the end of it, and like our coach or our GM was getting emails. I was getting like DMs saying of like how like much fun I was, and like how I brought so much like enthusiasm, and like I get like Twitter DMs and Instagram DMs from people's parents saying like it's so nice to like not have like a casual like CCHL like person doing it, because like they're like, you're actually doing like a really good job of commentating. And then I never really thought about it, but like honestly, like I think I'd love being in like some sort of media position of some sort, whether it's broadcasting or like an analyst of some sort. That's like really cool to me.
Should start a podcast.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. But talk about like coaching, like I think I know the game of hockey really well. I think I could coach like in the summers for the past like 6-7 years. I've worked at like an all girls hockey camp. It's called Katie Weatherston's hockey school, whatever. She's an ex-Olympian gold medalist for Team Canada. And like when I was younger, I was just a counselor, but now she still owns the camp, but like I kind of run the camp now. Like I run like gates, I run everything. I kind of help pick out the drills, stuff like that. And like I love like kind of coaching and stuff like that. It's kids that are like 8, 14, 15 maybe. So it's not like high level, but like it's kind of a foot in coaching that like I really enjoy. And like, you know, if when I'm done playing hockey, like I still want to be part of the game, I 100% would want to look into coaching or maybe getting a job as some sort of like analyst broadcaster type thing.
I feel like those years are the best years for kind of learning to play hockey, just because when they're like 4 to like 6 years old, they're just flopping on the ice, so you can't really like teach them anything. You're just like try to stand up.
Yeah, try to skate, try to just kind of stand on 2 feet as long as you can.
Curiosity wise, just because I never experienced this, what was the like the scouting like throughout your junior level? Like, was someone gonna tell you had scouts in the building, or was it just like they would just show up?
It would depend on kind of school and like if your GM knew, but we had showcase weekends in the CCHL that were like huge. Like our showcase like brought in a lot of schools, stuff like that. So you kind of knew like schools were there, stuff like that. And sometimes you know, sometimes you don't. Usually schools would come up, talk to you after games, stuff like that if they were there, and then you'd kind of like text back and forth, get applications in, stuff like that, you know, kind of try to find fits for schools, stuff like that. I was obviously like set on going to like a Division I school when I was younger and before I got hurt. And like I was talking to a couple Division I schools. I like when I was 19 and kind of they were saying, wait until your 20-year-old season, let's see how it goes. And then when I got hurt, it got out that I might not even play again that season. So, and there are so many good hockey players in the world. You kind of you get your one chance. That's kind of it. So I kind of knew Division I wasn't gonna work out realistically. Like I was just wanted to play hockey again. I didn't even know if Division III was gonna be an option. I didn't know if playing hockey was an option. But you know, I kept in contact with some schools while I was hurt, and I came back, played, and I was probably the worst hockey player on the planet when I first got back. My timing was off. I was like out of shape. I was like, what is going on? Like, this is not the hockey I remember. So I struggled for my first like 6 games back, but then pretty sure my last like 13, 14 games, or maybe 12 games last season, I was like really close to a point a game. And I didn't even feel like I felt like before I got hurt. So kind of disappointed I didn't get my 20-year-old season that I wanted to, but I couldn't be happier that found a spot at Elmira College. I think it's like the perfect school for me as a student and an athlete. And I'm like extremely happy. Like Division III hockey is still extremely good. You know, there's a lot of guys here that are gonna play pro hockey, and that like have gone on to play pro hockey and stuff like that. So it's not like here's just not like good. It's just you don't get those big names.
And then one more question I got for you is, now that you're playing competitive hockey, playing D3 and junior, a lot of people tend to miss like the good old days. And what would you say you miss most about like minor hockey and like AAA hockey?
That's the easiest question in the world. Tournaments. Man, like that is so, like, my last year of tournaments was where I had away tournaments was minor midget. So that would have been when I was in grade like 10, I think, maybe 9 or 10. And I would do anything to like hotels.
You got
like that is something that as a kid, I wish I would have just realized like how lucky I was that I was like getting to travel more, like being at hotels, like stuff like that. Like I loved tournaments. And like now that I'm older, like it's like, all right, let's take a far bus trip. Let's get a hotel somewhere. Like let's just relive the good old days of having the boys together in a room watching something, like messing around in the hallways. Like
every kid's been caught with a mini stick in the hallway.
Oh my God, yeah. Any question? Like I bring it up randomly sometimes, like that I just missed that. So that question is like such an easy question because it's
2 games a day,
Like now thinking of it, like playing 2 games a day, I'm like, I don't even know if I could walk after that. Like you're playing like 5-6 games in a weekend, and I'm like, what? I play like games here after a week, and like your legs like are like giving out. So I can't even imagine like now doing that, what it would be like.
Oh, but those are the days for sure.
Oh yeah, that is like hands down what I miss the most. Hands down.
Toronto tournaments, man. Everyone's gone on.
Like, that is definitely the good old days thing that I can easily say I miss the most.
What's been the coolest moment so far, like thus far throughout your career of playing hockey? Anything that stands out more than another?
That's tough, I guess. Coolest part is how much hockey brings. Like how many friends I've actually made through hockey, like with guys that like
lifelong friends. Yeah.
I would, like these guys you play with, like you would have never met. I have a guy from Finland on my team, Latvia, like Lithuania. I would have never met these guys like ever. Yeah. And it's crazy like how many people I've actually met and like how many places I've been because of hockey too. Like if it wasn't for hockey, I wouldn't have been to half these places. Like it's just it's been such a blessing to play hockey. Like obviously some days there's like, oh, what, like why did I ever play hockey? Like what is this, like on the tougher days? But when you actually sit down and think about it, like playing hockey, like the coolest part would probably been just like how like many friends like you make. Like I came to a school where city I don't know anyone, school I don't know anyone, but I knew day one I was coming in with like 29 30 friends, no matter what I had.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like it was easy here. Like obviously for some people like that come to a new school, like it's tough to like feel at home right away, like feel like you're part of something. But I was fortunate enough, like I moved to a different country and like, but I knew day one, like there was already a group chat. Like I would have like 30 guys that have my back no matter what. And I think that's kind of the coolest part about hockey is just like everyone's a family.
If you wanted to stay on for our regular podcast and talk some Ottawa Senators with us, if you're not too busy.
Yeah, if you want to talk about the Sens a bit, I wouldn't mind. I've actually at school, like I've been trying to watch as many games as I can. So I'd be like delighted to and like honored if guys kind of like had time or whatever. So I'd be okay with that.
Hey, that's perfect. It's not always nice to have a third voice. We do have a Twitter account, Instagram, and TikTok account, all with the same username at the Seventh Man Show. We're going to start us off with Murray has been struggling, here and there. Is this a concern?
Like,
I think that's a tough question. Yeah,
that is a tough question because his form in Pittsburgh was something that like playoff run is crazy. And I hate saying this about goalies because every like goalie nut and goalie gets like very offended, but I don't think he was tested as much in Pittsburgh.
Oh no, not at all.
As he is in Ottawa. You're playing with a very different structured team, a lot different chances, and honestly, I think he might have COVID legs. He hasn't played hockey in a while, and he has to weather the storm every single night, and that is not easy for for anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. If you have taken that much time off, it's not easy to jump back into hockey. So yeah. I don't think there's a concern. I think he's going to be a stud for the Sens, in my opinion. And I honestly think, I'm going to say, I don't think Ottawa has a goaltending problem anymore. I thought Craig Anderson was the goaltending problem. In my opinion, I always held that near and dear. Loved him in the playoffs, but I always thought there was some weak ones. But that's the personal opinion. You know, some people love him, some people hate him, and just I didn't hate him. It's just I think that with a stronger goalie, Ottawa kind of could have been went a little further. But now with Matt Murray, I think they're set.
And I think to add on that point is Matt Murray's kind of like set himself up to have a home here in Ottawa. I think in Pittsburgh, it was always a battle for if he was going to be the starter, whether it was Fleury, whether it was Jarry. He was always kind of competing for that number one spot. And every time he had a poor game, they would just take him out. Whereas like here in Ottawa, it's like, okay, this is your team. You were coming in as like a veteran presence, and he's going to have like some confidence to build back. But like without a doubt, Nick, like you said, he's going to be a stud for this team. And I'm not concerned either.
Yeah, I think you guys both have nailed it. And, you know, he's signed for 4 years now. So definitely want some production out of him. And I think, you know, after last night, he's a bit shaky in the Montreal game. And, you know, a 5-4 win. You know, it's not a goaltending battle. But again, Price made some crazy saves last night, and Murray made some saves to keep him in the game.
Yeah.
But I think, in the long run, Murray's definitely their starter, and I wouldn't worry too much about him. And then on to our next topic. This is something that I believe in a lot, or someone I believe in a lot. I've always been a Matt Pekka fan. You know, he's a local guy. He played for Pembroke. You probably knew that. And my friends, you know, we've always been a fan of him because he's a local guy moving up the ranks. Matt Pekka's been kind of benched lately. Well, not kind of, definitely is benched. And it's something that I personally don't agree with, and I'd like to see your guys' opinion because, you know, he brings speed to the lineup. But a lot the Haley banter's been going on, though. A lot of people like the Haley lineup or injection to the lineup. A lot of people don't, but I think Pekka should be in. What do you guys think?
I think the Sens have like a lot of problems up front, line-wise, depth-wise, kind of dealing with certain things. And I think they try to get guys in lineup every night just based off, you know, they want some age in the lineup every night. And honestly, like that's a tough question. Like I know he's a local guy, like Goodbranson is too. They gave him an A, like literally just probably for being from Ottawa and kind of being a veteran
He's
presence.
Not been too great this year.
But I think for him, it's just maybe not.
Like, I'm not saying he should be an everyday NHL player. I don't.
You just want just more looks.
Well, I think when he played, he brought a lot of speed. You know.
No, I think he's a great
pass
I think he's good. I just think his role on the team, Ottawa wants him to play a different kind of game, and I think that's kind of.
I see what you're saying. He's not a point guy. Yeah,
and it's just it's tough. It's always tough when stuff like that happens in between players. But like I'm a big Ottawa guy, and I want like somebody like people from Ottawa to thrive in Ottawa. So like I obviously want to see like a local guy play. It's just it's just a tough situation for like somebody just trying.
Would you rather Michael Haley in the lineup? You know, he brings the kind of enforcer vibe, but I mean. But
honestly, I think I'd rather Pekka, just especially like if they're gonna play him like I think Haley probably plays like maybe like 6-7 minutes a night if that, like, so it's just like why not give somebody with like who you can trust a little more ice time.
I mean, we're only gonna be talking about this until the Zingle shows up. Then it's, you know, Pekka and Haley aren't seeing the lineup then anymore. It's just going to be Zingle taking that role on left wing, you know, and they're set on the left wing.
Like you said, you guys pretty much covered every point of that. If he plays, he'll play very few minutes, and if he doesn't, he doesn't play. It'll be interesting to see if he does get put in the lineup, what he can do with the opportunity, and then he can gain the trust of the coach, because I think that's the thing.
He did say he liked them last game he played.
He also said Colin White had a great camp, and it took us like 6 games.
There you go.
Yeah, true.
Then our next point is, man, we're glad that Stützle fell to number 3 because, man, he's looking like a number 1.
When I say like I lost, like I was set on like they needed him at 3. We were watching the draft here at school. LA took Byfield at 2, and I don't think I was screaming like a schoolgirl in our dorm. Like you would have thought I was one of the 17-year-old girls. This guy, like I love World Juniors, hands down my favorite hockey tournament in the entire world. I watch every single game.
Yeah,
that guy was a stud in that tournament, and I was just like, if the Sens get this guy, like this guy's gonna be disgusting. He's gonna be a star, and like slow start. Obviously, like he's a kid playing against men, like actual men. Like I was talking about it, but no, he's playing against like the best players in the world. It took him a couple games, but man, he's flying out there.
Last night he could have scored like 5 goals.
Yeah, like man, he's so good. He is so good.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of a believer in Quinton Byfield.
Okay.
I mean, after his World Juniors of getting 1 point the year before, I was kind of hesitant on a bit, but you know, a lot of people say like he could be like franchise altering going into the draft. I'm not saying he's not anymore, but like when you see the skill that Stützle is able to bring to a lineup, it's just insane. And the fact that he's like gelling with the team so well already.
And the fans love him. The fans literally love him. Like off the bat, the fans
like great publicity for Ottawa too.
Well, they said like, there's never been more hype around a prospect since like Alfredsson, Spezza. So
yeah, like I wasn't this excited about Tkachuk. I can tell you that for free. But like I love him now, 100%. I love him now. But
I think
like,
you're the same with everyone.
like at first Tkachuk, I was like, all right. Yeah. I was like, this guy can't skate, but he's gonna play in the NHL, sure, whatever. But now like Stützle, like I love Tkachuk now, but now Stützle is like, this guy's the real deal. Like this guy is gonna be like an absolute stud in the NHL.
Same with Norris, dude. Putting up those numbers in AHL as a 20 bomb. That's pretty impressive.
Man,
and he's doing really well this year.
I think he's so silky. Like his goal in the shootout yesterday to go across body on Price, like that was, oh my God, I love that guy. I just love like young guys on that team because they're playing their game. They're not trying to play a different style of hockey. They're playing the way they're meant to play hockey. Which
is great. That's why I love DJ. He's letting them play.
Yes, man. He's not telling them like, yo, okay, we're gonna sit back, play boring hockey to watch. The Sens are like, hot take, the Sens are the most exciting team to watch right now. I like watching the Sens over Toronto.
Yeah, for sure.
Watching Toronto is just not that much fun this year, but watching Sens, they don't care what the score is. These guys just buzz. They play offense. Like I love watching them.
Okay, I guess I wrote down Riley over Wolainen because, you know, Wolainen has been pretty bad to start the season, and, you know, I had high expectations for him, and he, you know, hasn't been there offensively, really, definitely not defensively. But then I don't want either, though. Like, I've been watching Riley, like, I've been trying to be a Riley supporter, and, like, he does have his flashes of brilliance. But, man, he hits shin pads after shin pad, and he can't, I don't know. Like, both of them, in my opinion, are NHL hockey players.
Like, they give Riley minutes, though. That guy soaks minutes. He plays a lot.
He had the most minutes the last game.
Like, yeah, he plays a lot of minutes. And, like, I see some glimpses of, like, this guy could be, like, good, but, like, yeah. I think they could be giving ice time to other D right now.
Like Brandstrom.
Yeah, Brandstrom could get a couple more minutes. Even Zub's not great every game, but I want to see that guy kind of play a little more. You know, let's see what he can bring to the table. Zaitsev's whatever. Zaitsev. Like, it's not like anything that guy's gonna change
his
mind.
Neutral.
Yeah, but like Wolanin's Wolanin.
What do you think? What do you think? Like, is he gonna be an NHL player?
Like Wolanin, I think Wolanin should have been. I don't even know what to do. Some of the Sens prospects like have not developed how they should have. I thought Wolanin was gonna be really good.
Well, he had a season like 2 seasons ago before his injury. He was almost like a point every second game player.
Yeah, no, I thought he was gonna be like really good. He just didn't.
22-year-old or 23.
He just didn't like really develop. I guess like they wanted him to, or like
injury really set him back.
Yeah, getting injuries honestly is like really game changing. I still think Wolanin can get back to form. Honestly, I like that. Like he looked really good a couple years ago, like you said, and I honestly thought he was really good a couple years ago. I've met his dad, Craig, so maybe that kind of makes me biased.
Yeah, maybe.
Mike Riley is just kind of like iffy, like inconsistent, I guess is kind of the best word I can say about Mike Riley. He can do stuff. Like they give him the power play when Shabbat's hurt, so the Sens must see something.
Yeah. Well, he is very skilled. What do you think, Vinny?
I think, like you guys mentioned at the beginning, like he soaks up a lot of minutes and is just going to be like, to what extent can they play him for him to be effective? Because once he crosses that, then he just becomes inefficient, and that's when he starts costing mistakes. So it's just like managing his minutes so he can remain effective is kind of the biggest thing for Ottawa. From that, Nick, did you want to talk about Chabot? What have you liked? What have you disliked? First one that talks. I'm good.
I think he looked really lazy last year, in my opinion. I think the mentality of the Sens was different last year too. And so like this year I was like kind of like hoping like just his like give a shit meter was a little higher maybe this year because there's a real project coming along.
Oh yeah.
And I think his effort levels have been a lot better this year and more consistent. Obviously he's gotten hurt, he's missed a couple games, but I like the effort. I think it's better. Sometimes maybe a little too creative, you could say, with the puck and gets himself in bad positions, but he's young, he's experimenting. That guy also, I think, is going to be a Norris winner. So
yeah.
Well, yeah, and someone brought up like Tkachuk having to sign a deal, and like saying that he could be a guy that takes a price cut. But like Chabot was the first one to take a price cut. Like there's no way Chabot won't be in the running for a Norris eventually.
Yeah.
Well,
and he's only getting
He's still signed at 8 years at $8 million per year.
Dude, that's like pretty cheap for how good he's gonna be.
I think McCart's gonna sign a massive contract.
Oh yeah. Like at 8 years for $8 million. I mean, it's not a huge price cut, but like he could have been looking for like high nines, like low 10.
Or he could have looked for a short contract and then
I think the term is I think exactly like that. The term is more than anything else that he gave up on that contract.
I mean, and like we see Brady doing it, and I think that kind of like makes me transition to the next point is should the Sens rush their next captain?
I think Tkachuk, without a doubt, is the captain.
I'm with Vinny. Devils just gave it to Heischer. I think I was honestly surprised Tkachuk didn't get the C this year. I thought he was going to get it, I think. But it's just like...
The thing is, he's not locked up long term. You can't give it to him until he's locked up long term.
And we're also not in the dressing room. We have no idea how these guys are.
Well, I think somebody mentioned... Yeah.
His interviews, he's a leader.
I think somebody also mentioned that Chabot was more of like the quiet leader, whereas like Tkachuk is more like the stand-up vocal guy.
Yeah, I think Tkachuk should be the like I said, I'm a big work ethic, effort guy. Tkachuk puts his body on the line every night. The way he plays hockey, like he plays such a good style of hockey that I could see him being the captain of the Sens. And I honestly, like I said, I was surprised that he wasn't named captain this year.
It would have been the perfect opportunity too, with the new jerseys and everything, to unveil that.
Like a full rebrand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Do you guys think Ottawa does something like that this year?
Well, that's what I was looking through the comments on New Jersey Review, and it was a complete shock to them. And honestly, I could see Ottawa doing something like that, because it's like after last night, I don't think Tkachuk could be more ready to be a captain. Dude, he got asked about his goal early in the season, he completely redirected the question and started complimenting teammates. And last night, he starts complimenting Stützle and Norris, how they're going to be stars in the show, and he's just a leader.
Yeah, no, for the Sens right now, I think he should be I 100% think he should be their captain.
I feel like the only reason they haven't given it out yet is because he hasn't signed a contract, and I think they might be waiting for Stützle to see what he's like.
Yeah, but
I still wouldn't.
I always think it's tough giving international guys captaincies. I actually think it's tough given because I know it looks like he's blended in a lot right now, but you're always taking a risk with kind of overseas guys and stuff like that.
He's still also getting comfortable with just.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They might just be waiting.
Maybe I don't know, but that'd be a big. I just think Tkachuk like has earned the right to be the captain.
I agree. So I think Tkachuk is the leader of the team,
but it's also tough because like New Jersey, Zajac just had his 1,000th game ceremony, yet they gave the captaincy to a 21-year-old. So it's like it's tough.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, I think we've moved away a lot also of just like the older guy or more established guy gets the captaincy. We've moved away from that a lot. So we just saw games getting played at Lake Tahoe. That was cool. Maybe we see something it was beautiful. Maybe we see something like that getting played in Banff, Alberta, maybe like Lake Louise. I wrote this down before they announced it. Yeah. Because they could play it actually just on the actual lake itself.
Yeah,
I think that brings in a risk factor being on the actual water. I think the insurance liability for those guys with the amount of money they make is kind of risky. But I think honestly a big thing is like it's a problem for Canadian franchises too, is just the money. Yeah. Like that gets brought in, and when they do it in Canada, like it's usually a bigger loss of investment than when they do it in the States. Honestly, like imagine a game like the Parliament in the background, like they did it a couple of years ago. I forget what the
alumni game.
Yeah. Paul Bissonnette said it on Spit and Chicklets. There's better cold places than California to play a hockey game.
I know that was ridiculous. What do you expect?
Like, there's money there. That's why. Like it's just. Yeah. I don't agree with it at all. But
as much as we love the idea of Lake Tahoe, other places like having great views, Gary Bettman sadly shut it down. I quote him. He said that the best part of an outdoor game is putting butts in seats and the energy in the stadium full of a bunch of people. He likes the idea of atmosphere more than he does the scenic view, which I think is, I agree with it because you don't get to see the game much, but you're there to go drink with your buddies and, sit in the cold and just have a blast, keep warm because you're drinking beers. But I think it was a great idea. I think what they were able to accomplish in a short amount of time was pretty amazing. But the idea to do it in a place where it's not even sub-zero is kind of questionable. But
like I think for a COVID year, this was a great idea to get to take place more of scenery versus kind of efficiency, whatever. But like they could have picked a better like setting, obviously. But no, I think an outdoor game like should be like just a huge atmosphere, like the Detroit-Toronto one at the Michigan like stadium. I forget what year it was.
Oh, that was cool.
That one was huge. Like, and it was
I don't know how many can fit, but it fit a lot.
Yeah, and it was like, and it is like you're right. It is not like people always say, oh, you can't see a hockey game, whatever. But like it's just being with that many people. I think you sit in an actual rink. There's only like 15,000 people. Bring hockey outside into a stadium, like you're getting like 40,000 plus, like so much more like fan noise and stuff like that. And honestly, I'm a big believer in hockey. Like, still needs to grow as a sport. Like,
getting picked up by ESPN is pretty huge for them.
Yeah, getting a big American contract is really big.
Yeah, that's really big for them, and it's going to help grow the game. Because now you're going to be watching an NBA game, and hockey's going to come on like right after it, so it's going to be pretty nice. And this player's not a rookie, but he's pretty young, and it's Batherson. He's just been piling up the points this year, and last night he just another 2-point game.
Yeah, I think I remember someone saying like for Batherson playing in the top 6 of Ottawa, he needs something more than just like 1 point and through like his first 5 games. But now I think he has 7 points in his last like 4 games.
That. They were concerned about him not scoring early on. Yeah, and he's been able to find the net pretty well in the past couple of games.
I think ever since they moved up the lineups with Stützle and Stepan, that's when he's been able. That's when he's been able to produce the most, and I've really liked that line thus far.
Yeah, Stützle's a line. He drives a line, which is rare for a left winger or a winger in general.
I just think guys needed to get their game legs back. Like I think the Sens are one of the teams that didn't get to play in the NHL bubble.
Hey, last episode, Vinny, what did you say? First 10 games of preseason.
Oh yeah, like that. Yeah, these guys had to get ready for a sprint, and now you'll see like Like Batherson was like nasty for Canada in the World Juniors. So good. Like
he had
such
8
an
points in
electric
7
player.
games, not 7.
Like,
I hate that elite prospect screwed that up. He assisted the final goal, and they didn't give it to him. He has 8 points in 7 games, and a lot of people vouch for that.
but no, like I thought he was gonna be so good. Like, and like watching him play now, like he's so like the AHL, like Belleville's team has like had so many good players that were just chomping at the bit to get NHL games and more NHL looks. And you know, like if they can get Formanton going too,
this team's gonna be scary in a couple of years.
Like so much speed and like skill and just like grittiness on some of these guys. Like the Sens are gonna be really good.
We're just gonna have to remove some of the vets that's just slowing the team
But
down.
I think that's the plan, though. I honestly think that's the plan. I think it's those guys are rentals. Those guys are just pieces.
Yeah, well, we were talking on a previous episodes, like none of these guys are locked up and long term.
They're just kind of like they signed Galchenyuk at 1 year, like whatever, and then they got rid of him because like
I think Austin Watson's the only one locked in for a couple more years. As a
that guy brings in speed and grittiness, though. He's not just kind of like just old.
Yeah,
like just
he's there to stay for sure. On
Watson's a
same
good
thing
player.
with guys like Tierney and Connor Brown, like and Nick Paul. Like all 4 of those guys are exactly like you said, Nick. Like just gritty players that bring a lot of speed to this Ottawa team.
Nick Paul's been amazing. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that in. Nick Paul, like he's been scoring goals that I didn't think that guy could ever score. Like when they traded him, I'm pretty sure it was in the Spezza trade that they got him from Dallas. At first, he was really highly touted, whatever, and first couple of years were like yikes, this guy can be able to play NHL hockey. And then I don't know who he worked with over the summer. His skating is like absolutely like night and day from what it was, but you see it like that guy had almost a year off season, and he's a guy that put in the work, and like he's been a huge part of the Sens because of it this year.
Yeah, I've noticed that like every puck battle he goes into, he comes out with the puck. It's insane, and it helps so much with puck possession. And it's something that Ottawa has really struggled with this year with a lot of young players. Nick Paul always wins a puck battle. I don't know how he does it. The puck just sticks to him. Like he's able to, and like he's got such a long reach. He's able to just whack it away from people. He's such a valuable player.
Maybe a Mark Stone comparison in a couple of years. Gets a little more.
Yeah.
Gets a little more speed. Could be dangerous.
He's so good. I don't know if he's ever going to be a big point guy, but he's definitely going to be really skilled, and he's going
to be good depth scoring for them. Honestly, he's going to be what they need. Forward. Yeah, he's going to be what they need.
We'll let you go, Nick. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for sticking in.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. Honestly, it was great.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you, Nick.
Yeah, nice meeting you. Have a good night, guys.
So that was Nich Domitrovic. He is a college hockey player, and it's just kind of cool to get to know, kind of got a glimpse in the life of a college hockey player and living in the dorms. And I know a lot of people don't get the chance to keep playing hockey after they're 20. And Nick's been lucky enough to find a spot, and we wish him the best on the show. And he's a huge Sens fan, guys, so go check him out. We'll be tagging him in the episode. And best of luck to Nick in his hockey career. And now we move back on to one of the most controversial things of the Ottawa Senators, and that would be their power play. What did you see from their power play last night? I saw like glimpses of them being able to turn around. Do you think they can?
Yeah, there's just too much skill on that power play to just not be effective. You probably just have to take it down to basics there. Zone entry is probably one of the biggest things, is like establishing that good zone entry and having
I have a controversial opinion about that zone entry. So I know I might get some backlash for this, but I like the slingshot.
Where you just ring it around from one side to the other?
The drop pass, the neutral zone drop pass.
Oh, I see.
How a player gains speed and brings it into the zone. A lot of people hate that. And
it works depending on where your forwards are on the blue line.
It works for Ottawa only because I personally don't think they have the skill and the speed to do it yet. Yes, you're going to have players like Norris who are going to be fast and they're going to be very skilled, but they're not there yet. Tkachuk's not able to carry puck into the zone. And that's all right because that's not his role. Chabot doesn't have the speed to be able to do it and dipsy doodle through players. We saw Brandstrom do it once last game, but the Sens don't have the pure skill, in my opinion, to be able to do any other zone entry than that slingshot. And I agree, people don't like it. And sometimes, yeah, I don't like it, but what else are they going to do? They've made that slingshot for a reason. They don't have the pure skill. Like Stutzla, you see him do it occasionally, and he will be able to do it in the future. But he's really the only Senator able to do it right now because of his speed in his hand. And the slingshot allows them to make a cross-seam pass and walk or skate the puck in. Like I personally think they should keep doing the slingshot. I know I'm going to take some heat for that, but I think the zone entry is fine the way it is right now. How about you?
I think you're on your own on this one.
Oh,
I'm not gonna take any of the backlash for that. That's all on you.
I don't think there's enough pure skill to be able to do any other zone entry. I feel like I'm gonna get some backlash for it, but it's what else are they gonna do? They can't skate the puck in yet. They're not fast enough. They're not skilled enough yet.
They just need to get like a shot towards the goalie and just rush at him.
That's not gonna work because then they can't win faceoffs. I don't know. I think because what are you going to do? You're going to dump the puck in on the goalie, or you're going to dump the puck in. The defender's going to get there first and rim it around the board.
Yeah, that's where you have to win puck battles. You dump it in, and you have to be able to win those puck battles. Can't have Nick Paul on
the ice all the time.
Yeah, this is true.
Power play struggling. They ended up scoring their first goal, I think, 25 power plays.
That's horrible.
But they looked good. They looked good last night, and I have a lot of faith in that power play.
And what was that power play goal? Was that the Brandstrom goal?
Yes.
Yeah. So, like I was mentioning, like at the beginning, a lot of that just has to go with simplifying things on the power play and just getting shot towards the net. And for that occasion, that was exactly what they did. But if they can't get a zone entry, Nick, like you said, it's hard to establish that cycle game that leads to those point shots. So obviously. There is some potential there. They just have to figure out how they're going to do it because either they're going to have to get control of the puck through zone entry, they're going to have to dump and chase and win battles, or they're going to have to win face-offs. There's no magical recipe for being successful on the power play. You just have to get those three things done and then just get shots, and you're basically shooting for a chance. You're not shooting to score. You're shooting to get a rebound or a redirect or something in front of the net that makes those penalty killers have to move around or stretch that they normally wouldn't. So,
yeah. Well, we'll see how they do, but mentioning point shots, I just wanted to give a little shout out to Brandstrom. Congrats on his first NHL goal. He's been playing lights out. I've really liked the way he's played. He's a bit soft, in the defensive end, and got a lot of work to do there. But once he puts on some weight, he's going to be a very solid top four defenseman. I don't know if he is an elite defenseman though, but he is.
I don't think so, but he's definitely a solid top four.
It's sad because I really want him to be, and I hope I'm wrong. He's shown glimpses of being an elite defenseman, but he's definitely going to be a solid top four, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, if Jake Sanderson or Bernard Docker can be what they're expected to be, then it's probably better for Ottawa to not have him being elite because that way they can keep him around longer.
Well, you can never have enough defensemen. You saw what Nashville did. They were able to ship out a couple D and make a Stanley Cup team out of it. Or I guess Stanley Cup final team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
they're not doing too hot right now, though.
Yeah, that's why I kind of didn't want to bring it up. But when they're in their prime, they were good.
Yeah.
And the mistakes they made were signing forwards. So.
Yeah, this is true. I guess. Do you think the Sens can catch up Vancouver in the standings?
That's a good question, and
because at the moment. I don't have the standings at the top of my head, but I think they might be 7 or 8 point back. But that might have changed after yesterday's win.
Well,
yeah, so they have 13 points. So yeah, there's 6 points or 5 points. Yeah, 5 point back.
Yeah. So like I was saying, can they catch them? And my answer is yes. I think the Senators can catch them. Calgary has been on the decline.
Yeah,
and
I think they can.
A couple games coming ahead against them. I think Sens can take them. I know Calgary did beat Toronto last night, shut Toronto out, which is pretty freaking impressive. But I think that the Sens have a very good chance to pass Vancouver. I know, and they also have 2 games in hand too. So they could be 1 point behind them if they win their next 2 games.
I think they can definitely catch up to Vancouver. I'm not sure about Calgary, just because even though they are on the decline, they're still 2 games back of Ottawa, or they have 2 games on hand over Ottawa.
Well, Sens sweep the series, and it's looking a whole lot different. They do have a lot of games coming up against Calgary. I know we're getting way ahead of ourselves too, with like thinking Ottawa's already too good, but the way they've been playing, they definitely have. They're definitely one of the best teams in the division.
They're on a 2-game win streak, and they're 4-6 in their last 10 games.
Well, they're actually they've got 4 wins in their past 6 games.
Yeah.
So you kind of confused me there. But yeah, their past 6 games, they're able to win 4 of them. So they're on a 2-game win streak, but they're definitely building up wins here, and they're starting to make some noise. And I hope that we could see them pass Vancouver by the end of the season, because I'm not really into high draft picks anymore. I don't want them. Keep them. I want Sens to win.
We got enough of them. We don't need any more. It's just
exactly.
We got enough of them.
I love it. And then last night, let's touch up on the game. Sens won 5-4 in a shootout. Goals from Stützle and Norris in the shootout, which were very fun to watch. But we got to talk about the standout in that game. That was Brady Tkachuk with a fight and 2 goals last night.
I think Tkachuk's had his kind of his last 2 games against Montreal have been his standout games of the season thus far. He has 3 goals in those 2 games. He's been leading the charge there, and he's looked phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think, like we said, he's the captain of this team, and it's only a matter of time till we see him with a C on his chest. And then one last thing I want to talk about. This is going to be something.
This is the 3rd time where we're like, this is the last thing. I promise.
Well, I promise this is the last one. And this is a short little. We're just going to talk about it for a second. But last night, something came to my head that there hasn't been a complete house point yet. And what that is there hasn't been a goal where Stützle, Norris, and Brady have all gotten a point on a goal. And we're going to be keeping an eye out on this at the 7th Man Show. This is our new thing. We're going to be keeping an eye out for our complete house point. And people are going to get to know what that is. And we're going to talk about it every week until we see a complete house point.
I like it.
There we go.
I'm cool with that. Yeah, I'm good.
All right, guys. Well, that about wraps it up finally. We promise there's no more coming. But I hope you guys enjoyed our interview with Nick and, our controversial topics on the Sens and what we've seen lately.